So now we'll move on to our first award of the evening, the Ag Advisor Award. This award recognizes individuals in ag advancement and education programs and similar organizations who have influenced the ag industry through their leadership, guidance, and community involvement. Would you please help me welcome to the stage Ronnie Bush, who will tell us a little about our 2024 Ag West Farm Credit Ag Advisor, Tina Bush.
Good evening. It's been a pleasure that I was able to nominate and introduce your Ag Advisor. It's a woman that I've grown quite fond of. You might even, she's my best friend, really. You might even say that she's the wind beneath my wings. Sometimes it's a gentle breeze, sometimes it's a bit blustery, but it's always uplifting and moving me forward. Tina and I are long-time residents of the Findlay area. She grew up on a farm that her family's had since before World War II. I lived up in the Horse Heaven Hills and came down into Findlay once it was time for me to start school. We've known each other, ever since we were small children. She was the quiet little girl that was in my sister's class. She's outgrown that now, but she's always been the type of person that is organized. She wants everything to run smoothly. She gets frustrated if things aren't going well. I think that's why people tend to look to her to be the person in charge, whether that's the president of the parent group at the elementary school, or if it's a 4-H leader, if it's the Cub Scout leader for her kids, whether it's the superintendent of the swine barn. I think she's a compassionate, caring person who loves to volunteer. And I think that's why she's lasted so long at the fair. It's going on 20 years this year for superintendent. She's been a 4-H leader for 30. She is a fantastic mother. She is devoted to her kids. She's devoted to the community. And it's with great pleasure that I'd like to introduce my beautiful wife, Tina Bush.
Teaching these kids the responsibility of raising animals, knowing that they can eat what they've produced, for those months waiting to go to fair. I'm there at 6 a.m. and I usually don't leave before 11 or 12 at night, and it starts, the beginning of August, and you're pretty much there every weekend. When I first became a 4-H leader, it was like the lady that I took over for, she just kind of she didn't really ask me, she just kind of handed it to me and went, I'm done, and you're it. My club is the oldest club in the Tri-Cities. We started in 1950 as Findlay Livestock, and that's probably one of the reasons it's still going, is because I won't let that go, and so far I have never found anybody that'll take it. We need more people that are willing to volunteer. There just is not a lot of people that want to commit, because as a superintendent, I pretty much do stuff year round. We have market stock meetings all but 2 months out of the year. I do this because I want to see those kids succeed. Fair Week is a lot of work, but I really enjoy doing what I do.
Here to present the 2024 Ag West Farm Credit Advisor Award is Mandy Galbraith.
Good evening. On behalf of Ag West Farm Credit, we are honored to present the Ag Advisory Award to Tina Bush. Congratulations, Tina, and thank you for all that you've done to promote and support agriculture with the youth, and appreciate all your patience it sounds like you've had, so congratulations. Appreciate it. And I'll hold this for you.
Thank you. And there's a lot of you out there. So you're going to hear some of this probably a little bit again because my husband kind of said some stuff. I will do my best. Anybody that knows me that's in this room, I get emotional, so I might cry a little bit. So I'll just share a little bit about myself and my family. I am the third generation living on the portion of my family's farm that was started when my grandparents moved from Hover to Findlay in 1940. It was much larger, and everything back then was real irrigated instead of having pumps and sprinklers now, like we do now. My husband and I consider it a small ranch now where we raise longhorn cattle. I married my high school sweetheart. We've been married nearly 44 years. When we spend our anniversary every year at the fair. Sometimes we get to go have a taco if I'm lucky, so we do that. We've been doing that a long time. We have 4 children, 2 of the 4 here. 7 grandchildren and 1 great-grandson. Most of them have been involved in fair, all my kids and a few of my grandchildren. So I suppose that now, the volunteering is something that comes natural to us. I remember when I was young, my mother feeding the hobos that would ride the rails next to our house. And then she would help at the church a lot. As our family grew, mine and Ron's family grew, I became heavily involved with the parent group as my children went to Findlay Elementary. When I was the parent group president, I was known as the popcorn lady. I would go, if I was at Walmart or something, you'd hear a little kid, Mom, there's the popcorn lady. And that was always so sweet to hear that. I was also involved with my 3 sons, participating in Boy Scouts as their den leader. Eventually, they all 3 earned their Eagle Scout awards, completing different projects for our school district out in Findlay. My 2 oldest installed gold posts, swing sets, tetherball poles, and for the elementary, and then our youngest son, and then his friend Tyson, which is right there. They both did theirs and did picnic tables for the elementary, for the kids to sit out outside. So when my husband transitioned, now we'll go into this part where my husband transitions from being a volunteer firefighter and from Benton County Fire District 1 and became a full-time employee of the district. I naturally had to volunteer. I don't know why, but I did. It was a lot of work, but I spent 16 and a half years doing the fire district as a support supervisor. So I've helped feed and give water and medical attention to some of the firefighters if needed be. I retired from that shortly after Ron became an ag teacher at Findlay at Riverview High School. Now I spend time lending my hand as needed at the Findlay chapter of the FFA. I spend quite a bit of time there, so they made me an honorary chapter member. Even though I grew up on my family's farm, I never had the opportunity to be in 4-H or FFA. It wasn't until my own children were old enough to start showing animals, and I became active in their 4-H group, and then became the leader of Finley Livestock. And as my husband said, Finley Livestock is the oldest group in our area, and it was established in 1950. Like so many others, I got into this to help my kids, and then I started helping others, and it just snowballed from there. I started helping in the swine barn when I became a leader, helping some of the other superintendents. Pretty soon after that, I became the superintendent. So I'm 30 years as a 4-H leader, and I've been 20 years as superintendent of our Benton Franklin Fair. Thank you. My husband tells me I like to be involved, as he said, and I do. I do a lot of volunteer work. As the superintendent, I like seeing the kids bring their projects to the fair every year, to see the growth of the new members that are showing for the first time, and then to see them mature as they continue through the years. I now have generations at the fair. The little kids that were showing when I first took over as superintendent are back now with their children, ensuring that there is a legacy of agriculture in our community. One of the highlights, this is going to get me, one of the highlights of the fair this last year, every year, I get to give this traveling trophy to a youth and that just is outstanding in the barn during the week. This year was especially nice because it went to a special young man that was super excited about being there. It was his first year, and he was always happy to share his experience with anyone and everyone that came through the barn. He was always asking if he was doing a good job. He was there for his fist bump every time he saw me. I would walk in the barn, and it didn't matter. When I walked through that barn right there, he was right there, and he just every day would just give me a fist bump several times a day. When he was awarded that trophy on Saturday, he screamed with excitement, and all the kids in the barn cheered for him. He's a special kid. He's a very special kid, and I've seen him at several of the games and stuff at the school since then, and every time I see him, he comes up and thanks me for that traveling trophy that he gets to keep until fair this coming year, and that just touches my heart. There is many people that help me each and every year, and a lot of them are here tonight. I did not expect some of them to be here, and I greatly appreciate that. My family, like I said, my son and his wife, Rory, he spends a lot of time helping me with the group, and then he really helps a lot during the fair week. His wife, Crystal, my daughter-in-law, is the person does my calling for the whole week with classes and stuff, and it's great that I have her. My daughter helps out with just all different things that I need before fair, during fair. If I need something brought to the fair, she's there to help me. And then I will have to say this because my husband helped me write this a little bit. I was writing it, and I'm not as good at it as he is. And so he wanted me to make sure not to mention my wonderful and amazing husband. He thinks he's funny. Let's see. He spends a lot of time at the fair now as being an ag teacher. He is there a lot more, keeping track of his students. He was always there when our kids showed, but it was mostly came in, watched them show, and then he'd leave. And he never really stuck around, every day, all day long, like he does now as an ag teacher. And I appreciate all his help and stuff too. Like I said, there's a lot of people here. There are Marcus Stock and Fair Board members who assist with issues that arise and help me. Two of my favorite ladies that I love to see when they come to fair showed up tonight, and I appreciate that. They're the ones that keep me going through the week when I get frustrated or whatever. They do help do a lot of the paperwork, watching the ring and stuff, as I get pulled away several times throughout the day. And it's just, they are just the most awesome people. I couldn't ask for better people to help. I also have several parents in different groups that are willing to always help in the barn and help in the show ring and stuff. If you've never come to the barn and the hog barn, it takes a lot of people to run that. It's not just me, trust me. And I appreciate each and every one that steps up and helps. So I'll end with, I am very humbled to accept this award. I never thought of ever being recognized for something that I love doing, and I hope that I am able to keep doing it for some time to come. I want to thank the Ag Hall of Fame Committee and Pasco Chamber, and I also want to thank Ag West Farm Credit for sponsoring this award, and for being a huge supporter of our agricultural in our area. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina, Ronnie, and